Hey, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? Thank you guys so much for joining us here on AP and Toya Podcast. We truly appreciate you guys. I am AP.
And I'm Latoya. Welcome back.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back, family. We appreciate you guys again. And, wait, before we go into anything, boo, go ahead and give our little spiel. We give our new listeners.
Yes, to our new listeners, to our new followers, welcome to our space. We are a Christian millennial couple trying to do life right. Raising 3 beautiful children. On this podcast, you can expect to hear topics ranging from marriage, dating, parenting,
spirituality.
Yes.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So we appreciate you guys checking us out, man. We really do. Thank you. All right. So we have a great topic today, as we always say.
Yes.
We feel
episode 47.
Is it 47?
Episode 47.
Check you out.
I checked already. Episode 47.
Episode 47. Thank you all for checking out the last podcast, too. It was one of my favorite ones, actually. If you haven't already, go back and check it out. But yeah, this podcast is all about something that I'm very happy to talk about.
Yes.
Because it's actually
You're gonna drive this
it's
one.
Celebrating your boy, you know what I mean? But actually, it's Father's Day, right? And so the name of the podcast is A Father's Love, right?
Father's Love.
That's right, A Father's Love.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. We did a Mother's Day podcast, and of course we got to show love to the dads as well on our special day.
Yes.
And so first and foremost, special shout out, salute to all the dads out there doing your thing, man. I know how it is being a dad myself. It's the hard up days, the down days. You know, don't get it right all the time, but we are perfectly imperfect. And but shout out to everybody who's out there being active as dads, man. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and you're a great father.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I try.
On the Mother's Day episode, you got to love on me and tell everyone just the awesome mother I am.
This is true.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about a father's love. I'm excited to talk about what that means.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps thinking about it. Just thinking about a father's love. I'm thinking about the type of father that you are. The men that have been in my life that have fathered me, biological, spiritual fathers, pastors, uncles, stepfather, like so many men in my life that have stepped up and really meant a lot to me, that helped me to be the woman I am today.
Yeah, salute to everybody.
Yes.
And that statement of it takes a village.
And God's love. When I say father's love too,
father.
like the ultimate father, like God's love. So yeah, to be around amazing men that are like just amazing fathers. I'm excited. I'm excited about this episode. I get to brag on you a little.
I appreciate it. All right, so first, just coming out of the gate, man. I guess we can define how I define fatherhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, as a child, I came from if you guys have been with us for a while, you know this already. Shared these stories, but kind of a split household. You know, my parents separated when I was younger. So my dad didn't live in the house with me. And so a lot of my identity of what it meant to be a father, I was still trying to figure it all out. Not saying that he was the worst father in the world, because he wasn't, not at all. And we have a great relationship today. But I was still, when I became a dad for the first time, it was something that it was scary to me, because I just didn't know what it meant to be a dad. I know the things I didn't want to do. I knew the things but I didn't know everything to do and how to do it. I just didn't know. And actually, I'm gonna go back just even a little bit more.
Okay.
Than that. The feeling I felt when I first became a father. I'm really talking about like, okay, my wife is expecting, she's pregnant. Like, that was another conversation for another day. But actually seeing my son for the first time was, it's something I'll never forget to the day that I die. Just being able to see him. And I remember thinking to myself, when he took his first breath, I thought to myself, my whole world has just shifted. And so it took my breath away for a second, but then I instantly got energized, because I was like, yo, this is my boy. Like, this is my son. I wanted to have a son first. And so I was just so excited. but just the surreal moment of life that's a part of 50% me and 50% my wife is here. The culmination of our relationship for all those years and dreams in high school and stuff like that, our baby is here. And so it was something I'll never, ever, ever forget as a man. It was just something that, it made me feel like I knew how to love somebody because I love my wife, and I never felt the type of love between me and my wife, but it's such a different type of feeling of love when you have your child. And so I'm just, just that first feeling of being a dad it's something I'll never, ever, ever forget. Yeah. I do love being a dad, yeah.
That's awesome. And you were a young father. So you've been a dad for 14 years now. Our son Jordan is 14.
Yeah. Maybe 15 in October.
And you were 22 when you became a dad? Because I was 21. So you were 22, maybe 22, turning 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was 21, turning 22 when I had Jordan. So you were 20. Yeah. You were 23. Yeah. So that's pretty young to be a dad. I feel like in your 20s, like you're still figuring yourself out.
Yeah, you're still trying to figure out who you are as a person, and then now you're responsible for this little life.
Yeah. As you were talking, we have this amazing picture of Jordan being like so little, and he has on this like onesie, and you're like doing not you have him like chest to chest, like he's on your chest, like and his head's just like laying on you. And you're just like staring at him like, oh my gosh, I'm a father. You have that look like.
Yeah, any and everything, that he did was like the most important thing ever. Like just him smiling, him laughing, and the fact that, when he started to grow more and talking and stuff like that, his little personality was like, it just cracked me up, man, because he was just such a outgoing little kid, funny, just doing the most, dancing all the time, and he had a
very big personality.
Very big personality from the beginning, and it's so
he was
funny.
Like such a cool kid. People always be like, "Oh my god, your kid's so cool!" Like he was always so much matured. Like he loved Michael Jackson from a young age, like the music, like dancing all the time. I mean, even now, I feel like he has like such a soulful, like he's so soulful and like so much older than
a very matured 14.
Yeah. Like it's like he's been here before or something. Like
a lot of people have complaints about their teenagers doing this and doing that. Like he's a really matured 14-year-old, and so
yeah. So that's awesome. I love your stories. So during the Mother's Day podcast, we got a chance to shout out the women that have affected our lives and that have changed our lives. So I wanted to have this time and this space to like shout out the men. I mean, you can drive this too, but
I always feel like my wife's interviewing me. It's kind of funny.
Well, it's Father's Day, so okay. I want you to have your moment, have your time. You're a great father. I love the way you love on our kids. I love the way you protect them. I love the way you teach them things. I love the way you just steward over them in general. So
I try.
So yeah,
is this my time to shout out the people that.
This is your time to shine. This is your time to shout out the men that have impacted your lives. You could talk about that, and then we can just give some tips on some people that are, trying to. We always want to try to teach in some way, some tips on how to be a great dad.
Yeah. Okay. So first and foremost, I am gonna shout some people out. I hope I don't forget anybody that I hope
you're not gonna forget, because I see you smiling. I see you smiling already, so I already know you have a list of people in your head.
I have some,
and I can shout out some people too that have mean a lot. Well. You want okay.
Yeah, so, but I almost forgot somebody. Actually, the cool thing was I actually was on a panel last night for fatherhood, part of my church, and I forgot somebody.
You did an amazing job last night. You
forgot
someone?
Fun. It was
Who'd
fun.
you forget?
I forgot someone. I'm about to shout them out now because the good thing I got my own podcast.
I think I know who you forgot.
And I got my own platform. But there's a couple of people that I did forget. And so, first and foremost, I gotta, and I will talk about my biological father in a little bit. But first and foremost, I want to shout out my spiritual dad. Pastor Douglas Adams, who was just a big influence on me in my early 20s. He was my pastor when I had my first child, and so he helped me to grow up a lot when it came to being a man. I just did not know a lot of things. I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know how to be a father. he just really led the way and showed me by example how to be a great man. And so I got to give his flowers to him and thank him for all the stuff that he's done for me in my life. I really truly do appreciate him. Yeah, just for being the man that he is. Um, and he taught me, and the one thing that he taught me the most was that it's okay to it's okay to fail, but it's never okay to give up. You know what I mean? And so,
That's good.
because you got to keep trying. Things are gonna happen, and he's one of the most persistent people. He's one of the most consistent people that I've ever known in my life, and I appreciate his heart for everything that he does. He really truly is an inspiration and a role model to me as a man. Second, not in the order, I got to shout out Mr. Farley. Mr. Farley is was my high school music teacher. He truly was. He was what I needed him to be in those moments. My senior year of high school, he was his first year at the high school, and
He came just at the right time.
just at the right time.
Just at the right time.
My senior year, I just needed with the school I went to. It wasn't a lot of African American males in the school. It's a couple of them. But I actually didn't even have any of them. The ones that were there, I didn't have them. And he came in my senior year, and he really just sold into me, and he was a believer too. So that's the great thing about him is that he not only is a great musician, great singer, but he's a believer, and so he sold into my life. Just by being a positive influence.
Yeah.
Mr. William Farley, and he's just an awesome guy. He took me into his home around his family. I hung out with his family. Took me down to where he's from, down in South Jersey, and we just he really just treated me like one of his.
Yeah. He became an amazing mentor.
Amazing mentor, man. He matter of fact, quick story about Mr. Farley. He helped me get into college because I didn't have anybody to take me to my audition to get into college, because I went to the university to be a music education major, and not only did he help me prepare for the audition, but he drove with me to the university, and he played the piano for me for all three pieces that I had to perform in order to get into the school.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so he actually took the time out of his schedule to drive with me to the college, play the music for me, and helped me to audition for this music program, and I got accepted into it. So that's just a quick story of the type of man that he is, a man of integrity. Not even just preparing me, but he made sure that he accompanied me to make sure that I got into the music program.
Yeah.
I'll do one more, and I cannot forget my godfather, Eric Houston. He has been everything to me since I've been a baby. I mean, it's one thing to have family, but he really did become a father figure to me, because I really had like an identity thing kind of with my dad not being in the house, and so he really took me under his wing. He told me about the importance of education. He told me about the importance of caring for a woman. He told me the importance of music. Man, he just life in general. He was with me every step of the way. He's actually my son's one of my son's godfathers, and he's my godfather. And so to this day, even now, he still takes. We have great conversation. Matter of fact, we're going to the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert coming up soon together.
Yeah, that's exciting.
He took it to my first concert. He took me to see, Michael Jackson, and I went to Prince with him. I went to just a bunch of different things, man. So we enjoyed
some
music.
Good memories.
Some great memories. He really, truly has been a rock in my life since the beginning. I'm talking about diapers beginning.
Yeah.
Because he's my second cousin, but he's also my godfather. And so...
And your son's godfather.
And my son's godfather. So he truly has been a staple in my life, and I truly appreciate the village of men that helped me to navigate what it meant to be a man, and what it meant to, really try and progress as a human. And so I appreciate those three fellas, and I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I'm gonna keep it to those three.
Yeah,
and we'll keep it moving with that one. But I appreciate those guys, Bishop Douglas Adams. My godfather Eric Houston, and Mr. William Farley. I appreciate you three fellas for all that you do. Yeah, all that you've done and all that you do.
Yes. And for me, the men in my life, well, Father's Day is a little tough. It's like a little bittersweet. I celebrate you and I get to celebrate my stepfather,
Mm-hmm.
who has been absolutely has stepped in and loved me unconditionally like a father
Yeah.
ever since I was a little girl. So I get to celebrate you and I get to celebrate him, but I think it's going to be the second or the third Father's Day without my dad being alive. So I
Yeah.
think the second. I think
Second.
the
Maybe the
second. Yeah, because
second.
he's gonna be 2 years coming up that he passed away. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be the second Father's Day. Without him, so it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet, but I do feel his presence. I was talking to my brother today, and just little ways and songs that'll come up, his favorite songs, and just the little things that he was saying. I was at work the other day, and his voice just like came into my mind, and I heard him saying some things to me in my head because he had like a very distinct like voice. So, yeah, just memories that I carry of him, things that he's taught me. Who else? Pastor Doug. He's
Yeah.
been a amazing force in my life too, just showing me and teaching me things that I needed to hear from a male perspective when I
Yeah.
was going through some things. And we've had this talk one time, and he was just like, "I'm going to talk to you like a daughter, and this is what I would tell my daughter, so I'm going to tell you." So I appreciate those moments. I appreciate him. I appreciate all the things he's taught me. Shout out to my stepfather for just loving me and just being so supportive. He's
Yeah.
always been so supportive of me
So
and
yeah.
supportive of us.
Shout out to
So shout out
to Ivor,
to
the
yes.
man with the finest wine.
Yes, shout out to my dad, Ivor, man. Thank you for always supporting us. And that's it for me.
Is that it for you?
Yeah, that's it for me. So I don't want to get all teary eyed and get
I
all
know, right?
emotional, but
As I was thinking about stuff, I
yeah,
started,
we've been so blessed by such an amazing village. Just the
yeah,
men and the women that have surrounded us and showed us how to love and how to care, and I'm just blessed, man, thinking
yeah,
about it.
truly blessed. And another thing is too, like not a lot of people have male influences in their lives. Um, I was talking to actually on the panel yesterday. Um, one of the guys from the church, Tev, he said that his dad was murdered while his mom was 7 months pregnant. So he never got to meet his fathers. He never got to meet his
Wow.
father. So his dad got murdered when his mom was 7 months pregnant. So
Wow.
just the fact that and the great thing about he said he had male influences. To this day they really took care of him. But I think about that and I think about a lot of people just say, "Oh, my dad, left the house. He abandoned me and my family, this and that." But the great thing is, I'm sure you could think back to some type of male influence, whether it was a coach or a teacher, an uncle, somebody in
Yeah.
the neighborhood that stepped up to try and take care of you. Even if it wasn't monetarily, they fed into your soul. They fed into your psyche as a man. They tried to teach you, and probably not even by example, but even by just words, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And
Yeah.
so I thank God for the male influences that continue to help raise this generation and the next generation and the past generation. Grandfathers and uncles and stuff like that. I've got some great uncles and um, yeah, it's just some real solid people. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah, so we talk about
Yeah.
the people that have influenced us. I guess we can talk about um, some advice. I want to give some advice to the upcoming fathers and the fathers to be. And oh, wait a minute.
So I got some questions for
All right,
you.
go ahead, boo.
I'm
Do your
gonna
thing.
ask you some questions. Oh, go ahead.
No, 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 no.
What were you
We can do
gonna
that
say?
later.
What are you
I
gonna
won't
say?
forget. I won't forget.
Okay. All right. So I have some questions for you. So if we have a father, expectant father, this is
Yeah,
his first baby, expectant couple. What would be your advice to the dad?
my advice to the dad is, and it's something that I'm still working on too. Um, is just I'm working on. Yeah, it's something I'm working on still. Um, the quality time is always important. The quality time with your children, boy, girl, you have to make them feel your presence. And sometimes that can get crazy with work and ambition and stuff like that, you know. But the most important thing is they have to feel that you're there. And so you hear people say, "Oh, my dad was, he was in the house, but he wasn't, there." You know what I mean? And so, because there was just so much other stuff going on, and so that's one thing I struggle with sometimes, making sure I spend the quality time with my children. And so, even if it's something small as watching a TV show or you know, baking a cake together or playing a video game, whatever it is, I think spending quality time is the number one thing. And not only quality time, but being consistent as well. Again, so I think that's one of the things that make a good father is that you're consistent and that you are consistent, available, and the quality time. I think is the most important thing um, for you expecting fathers, and for you guys that are fathers for a long time. I just
Yeah.
think it's very important to do, and that's something
Hmm.
I'm continuing to be better with, and challenging myself to do that more. Is to make sure that I'm more in the moment when it comes to my kids, because they truly do want that affection and attention, and every kid's not gonna be the same. So just make sure you get them where they are. You know, spend a quality time with them, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that answer.
yeah,
I guess the next question. I like this. I like interviewing you.
yeah.
I guess the next question is talk about. Can you talk about the importance of trying to heal a strained relationship
Mm, yeah.
with
So
your father?
right. So we said earlier, I said earlier, I was gonna talk about my dad a little bit. Me and my dad had a good relationship, then a bad relationship, and then I got older and it got to a better relationship, and now we're at a point where, we're in a good standing. And so earlier, I was more upset and angry with him because I really just wanted him to be in the house and stuff like that. Obviously that has nothing to do with me; it's between him and my mom. But I just really wanted him in the house. So me and him, whenever I saw him, I was very excited to see him. But then I just knew that he wasn't gonna be around. So I cried a lot. A bunch of different things just really got to me. And then once I got older, um, and started having children of my own, I started realizing that um, you know I really wanted my dad to be there for me. And a couple of times he kind of dropped the ball on being there. And I think one time I confronted him. I told him, I said, "Look, man, if this is the type of person you're gonna be, then I don't even need you in my life." And it's funny thing is he still remembers that to this day, because that's when he started to kind of change. He started changing the person that he was, because I told him, I said, if this is the type of person you're gonna be, me and you could just say our buys now. We said these in podcasts before about me being able to cut people off. It's so hard to think about cutting your parent off, but I was almost had to get myself in that mentality because I was just getting hurt by him left and right. And so I pulled him at a birthday party. I pulled him outside and said, "Look, this is it. Either you're gonna be a part of my life or you're not. If you're not, let's keep it moving. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me life, but I'm done with you." And because I just can't take the heartbreak, and I don't want to bring that into my son, who was just probably 1 or 2 years old. And so, but since that day, he changed up. He would come around more. He would hug me when he saw me. You know what I mean? He just really became a different person. Um, and so we got a chance to reconcile some things um, and get to know a little bit more about each other. Even now to this day, we took a ride the other day and we got an opportunity to kind of talk. And now the more he talks, I don't even think he realized it, but the more he talks, the more I'm starting to realize the type of person that he is, the man that he grew up to be, his childhood. Like, he's just talking, but he doesn't realize he's kind of filling in a lot of the blanks that I had, memory wise. I didn't know. And so a lot of the things about him growing up, I just did not know these things. And so he's starting to fill in some of the blanks as to why he is the way that he is without even knowing he's doing it. But I think reconciling is always a great thing if you can, if you have the opportunity to. Obviously there are some extreme cases to where fathers have done some horrible things. You know what I mean? But if it's a possibility for reconciliation, I do think it's good for your soul, for your children's soul, because you'll be carrying baggage if you don't let go of some stuff. And even in your marriage too, you'll be able to. There emotionally you'll be unlocked to be a better husband, a better father, a better friend, and eventually a better son. And so I do think reconciliation is something that is very important. Pray about it, seek wise counsel, seek therapy if you need to, but truly just make sure that try and reconcile those relationships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, love. I love that answer too. I was
I
just
like how you just
thinking.
let me talk. I'm kind of just like going.
I love this. This is your time to shine. Like, look,
I
I'll be
appreciate that.
talking all the time. Like,
Yeah.
take your shine when you get it, okay?
Right.
This is your time to shine. So I love that answer. I was just thinking, you know, my dad has passed. It's gonna be 2 years coming up, and it's just that
October, right?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think about, you know, all the things that we got to reconcile, and it's a part of me is just still very sad when I think about it too. Things that we didn't get to talk about, and things that I wasn't even willing to give him the chance to explain because I still had a lot of anger
Yeah. And hurt.
and
Yeah.
resentment and
Yeah.
hurt from him, you know, not being the father that I needed him to be. But I'm so happy for the moments that we did get to talk and the things that we did get to work out because
Hmm.
life is so short. Like, you know, when
Yeah.
he passed away, it was just so sudden. I just wasn't ready. I thought I had way more years. I was just like I'm just too young to be losing a parent right now. Like
Right.
I thought
Right.
I had more time. I thought we had more time to work things out and work in our relationship
Right.
and you know, for him to, I don't know, I just kind of had this false hope that he was just going to be this dad in my head that I wanted him to be one day. So,
Yeah.
but I am happy. I'm happy that we got a chance to reconcile now that he's gone. We got to talk about some things and really work through some things. So, I encourage, you know, our listeners if you, you know, you have a strained relationship with your father or some father figure, someone that means a lot to you in your life, and it's something that can be worked out, something that can be talked out, something that can be worked out in therapy together. Like I
Yep.
really, really encourage you to seek reconciliation because it's rough when they're here and you don't have that opportunity anymore.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
true.
so yeah. I guess my next question is, I think this one comes up a lot. I hear when I'm talking with friends and family about having a dad in a home.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times we talk about absentee fathers, but can you talk about the importance of a man's presence, like a father's presence in a home? Like I know a lot of people would say that you know their dads were there, their dads were in the home, but mentally, like he wasn't there, like
Check that.
emotionally. He wasn't there. Physically, he was there
Yeah.
in the home. But talk about the importance of not only being in the home physically as a man and as a father, but emotionally and mentally, you know, being there for your children too.
Yeah.
So they
I
could
think it's.
feel, you know, all of you.
Yeah. I think that's. Yeah. Just being there physically is not enough, and I'm learning that. You know, what I mean, as my kids are getting older, you know, I pride myself in trying to make every football game, trying to make every basketball game, trying to make sure that when my daughter's painting, I'm checking out her paintings. I got some of them down here. You know, my daughter's cooking, so she always makes sure that she gives me a piece of cake or something like that, which is always isn't the healthiest thing to do, but just being there physically is not enough. You have to treat your children as I guess there's two things. Either as clay, you got to try and help mold their minds and mold their habits and things like that. And so the only way you can mold clay is to continue to work on it. You know what I mean? Clay is not going to just build itself. You got to almost help them to see the picture of the type of person that they should be, how what they're striving for, what they should what they should accept and not accept. But the only way you can do that is continue to talk to them and invest in their lives. So you got to continue to help mold the clay. And so being there physically is one thing. It's a great thing about having a dad's presence in the house, but actually being there to help mold what they think about and what they not even what they think about themselves, but what they think about the world. Because the world is throwing so many things at our children, it's hard for them to decipher what's the truth. And so having a dad there or just a mom there too, to be able to let them know what's happening in the world and how it affects them is a great thing instead of getting that advice or that word from a friend or a television. I just think it's very important. And the only way you can do that is to make sure that you're there emotionally, physically, spiritual accountability, loving them, and speaking words of affirmation to them. So
Yeah.
I think it's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that answer. And I think too, I was just thinking today we were at the pool and it was just such a beautiful example. Like people were just coming by and like smiling at this guy and his daughter. It was a black dad with his daughter at the pool, and he was swimming, like he was doing laps, and it was just a little girl. I don't know, she had to be like, I don't know, she looks like she's like 6, like she looks really young, 5 or 6. And he's like, they came together and he put his stuff down and they're like swimming together in the pool, and he's doing a lap, and then she's like right beside him, and he's teaching her how to hold her breath, how to throw her hands, like how to go side by side swimming. So I think that's a beautiful example, because a lot of times you'll see, you know, the moms or dads like on the sideline sitting, and then the kids are in the pool. But the fact that he was like there and present and really, you know, teaching her how to swim, because he was a good swimmer. He was like looping that pool, like back and forth, back and forth. Even the lifeguards like, man, like you want a job? Like we can hire you. We need lifeguards.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think definitely being present, like finding out what's going on in your kids. Like we have a 14-year-old now, like going into his room, sitting with him, talking like, hey, what are you playing? Like, what video games are you playing? Like, what's going on in your 14-year-old mind? Like, what's going on in your 9-year-old mind? Like, going into their rooms, going into their spaces and into their world to see, you know, what's going on with them, making them feel like they matter, that you care what they're thinking, you care what they're doing, you care what activities they're in, they're into, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that we could do that, because I don't want like our kids to say like I had mom and dad in the house physically, but mentally and emotionally, you know, like they weren't there. So that's good. That's it.
I think we're good, but I don't want to.
I was gonna ask you one more question, but okay, all right. How many minutes are we up to now?
31 right now.
31. Can you talk about the importance of? I think this. I'm just trying to think of questions that can help people to, you know, to be a better dad. And I think this one's important too. Talk about the importance of knowing your kid's love language.
Yeah. Each kid that you have is different. I mean,
we
have 3 totally different kids, and we have our kids are just, they're all different. None of they. My daughter Layla is definitely acts of service. She loves for you to do stuff for her. But in the flip side of that, she does a lot of things for us too. So
she's like a little mama.
Yeah,
she
like
really
a
second
is
mama
like
of the house.
2.0. And so she's acts of service. I mean, you have Sydney. She just wants quality time. Sydney,
I think Layla's gifts of appreciation.
What's that? Gifts of service?
Acts of service. Acts of service is like doing things for them. Like I love acts of service. Like I love when you clean the house, make the bed.
She like when you do stuff for her too, like taking her places to buy stuff. So
I think gift giving is her.
That's
number.
Okay,
it's her number one. Yeah.
But just knowing each of your kids. You know, my son is way different than my daughters. You know, he's a loner, but he does love spending time as well. And Sydney she loves for you to listen to her, because
City is definitely her love language is definitely quality time.
Quality time. She's like, look, can we watch this thing? Can we watch this cartoon?
Yeah.
Can we do this? Like, can you help me do it? Like, she loves that stuff, and so just knowing getting to know your kids individually, to let them know exactly the type of people that they are. It's dope, and so but you have to, in order to even know who they are, you got to spend that quality time with them, just to get to know them. So it's very, very important to know that all 3 kids, you can't, you know. People always say, how can I got 4 kids, 3 of them are doctors and 1 is a crackhead or something like that, whatever it is.
That's a very extreme, but okay.
People, you know, I've heard people say it before. Like, you grew up in the same house. It's because every kid was not
one
the
like
same.
turned out like perfect, and one's like an overachiever. One's like, what happened to you?
Right. So not all kids are going to be. That's dealing with everybody is different. So you can't deal with all the kids across the board the same way. Yeah. And so, you know, that's the importance is monumental. So
yeah. All right. Last question.
Yeah.
One more. Because this one's like so important to me, and I hear people talk about this all the time. Hugging, showing your kids affection. Can you talk about that? Because I know that's a hard one for men. If you weren't hugged and told that I love you and given affection and that it's okay, can we talk about crying, look, expressing emotions?
I have never shied away from hugging my kids, kissing my daughters, telling my son that he's a king, telling him to make sure he represents our last name correct way. I make sure that my daughters, my son knows that I love them. So it ain't nothing for me to hug them, you know, kiss them on the head, kiss them on the cheek, you know, squeezing them tight. I think it's so important, especially from dads, man. You got to show that love. It's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with showing your emotions. We want us to be so macho all the time. There's nothing wrong with expressing your feelings, and so that's why a lot of people go through a lot of problems because they all bottled up with all these emotions going on, and they have and the way that they release them is in a negative way. And so, yeah, show your kids love, man. Be affectionate, hug them, kiss them. Let them know that they're loved, and not only say that they're loved, show them that you love them. You know what I mean? So it's very, very important. All right, I think we're gonna end this one right here. I am excited for Father's Day. Boo, thank you for this opportunity. I actually wanted to do a couple of shout outs real quick.
Okay.
But you got a final word before I do my shout outs?
I do. I wanna acknowledge you. Bless you. I wanna acknowledge you. I wanna thank you. I wanna let you know how appreciated you are, how loved you are. Thank you for just the man that you are. Thank you for when we got together, we were 15 and 16. Like, I couldn't have possibly imagined that you would be such the amazing father that you are. So thank you for all my babies. Yes. Thank you for loving our babies. No, I don't want any more. Just stop it right there. Because this tribute will end right now. And this podcast now. Press end. But thank you for being the amazing man that you are, the father that you are. Thank you for covering our kids, protecting them, covering them in prayer, spiritually, covering our home. Man, I'm just so grateful. You were like, I could go on and on about the type of father that you are. Sometimes I tell people, I'm going to say this on this podcast. Oh my gosh. That you are the better parent. I be feeling legit. Oh, say that again. I be feeling like legit, like you are the better parent. Like sometimes I just I get so frustrated and I don't know what to say. And I just feel like you always have like such good words. Like, and your words just make so much sense and they're so like matured and just so right. And I don't know, you just think things through like way better when you're angry. Sometimes. Let God use you. Let me put it sometimes back there because you're going to be feeling yourself. Let God use you. But you're such a good parent. Like your words and just the things that you say to our kids and just your street smarts too. Like you've been on these streets a little longer.
Been out here for a while.
You've been in these streets. So you be knowing a lot more stuff. And you be knowing. You went on these streets. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes when I'm struggling with things or I'm not really thinking through some things, I can be naive to some situations, trying to give, just the benefit of the doubt to everyone. You kind of like see past all the fluff. And I like that I can parent from one place and then you can parent from another place with some street smarts. Cause I'd be like, oh no, you should trust that person. Like he seems like such a nice person, or that person's saying, you're like, no, like didn't you see this and this and this and this? And I'm like, really, you saw that? Cause I didn't see that. So thank you for loving our babies. Thank you. For just being the man that you are. It's amazing to see your growth and where you've come from. Thank you for being here physically, like mentally, spiritually. Thank you for being present. Thank you for hugging our babies. Yeah. Thank you for loving them through their love language. Just, man, I can go on and on, but thank you.
And thank you for trusting and loving me for all these years. I appreciate it. And thank you for being my better half on everything that you do. I really do. I really do. Thank you, and I cannot imagine life without you. So I say it all the time. You, it's so true. Hey guys, thank y'all so much for joining us for this podcast.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You guys are awesome. And I just want to, before we sign off, I want to shout out some of the brothers in my circle that are some great fathers, man. Salute to you, Kings. Happy Father's Day. So I'm going to run down my list real quick, and if I missed anybody, y'all know charges.
You have a whole list?
I got a list. Charges to my head, not my heart, y'all, because y'all know if I did not add you here, just know, you my people. So I want to shout out my boy Daquan. Shout out to you, man. You got some beautiful twin boys. My boy Garrel G, man. You have been a great friend and a great dad, man.
Oh, yeah.
Salute to you, bro. Shoggy, salute to you, my guy. One of the most solid people that I know. You are a great father, man. Salute to you. I want to give a shout out to my boy Linz. That's my best friend. He's Jordan's godfather as well. He's the father of 5. Yes, 5 of them. All 5 of them things.
He been
And
busy.
So salute to you, my brother. Actually, you were just texting me while I'm recording this podcast because you're at Eli's baseball game. So salute to you.
Shout out to
Reggie Remy. You are a phenomenal dad, man. You're showing M some great things, man, and I'm so excited for what is to come for M in the future. And you're a dog dad too. And so, salute to your dog. I hope your dog has a beautiful life.
Seriously? Okay, you're doing the most. Go to the next person.
Hey, my boy
You sending shout out. You saying you forgetting people. You sending shout outs to a dog, man. Come on.
My boys also know me. They know I got jokes all the time. So
go ahead. Next
salute
person.
to my boy Jonathan Copeland. I appreciate you, my brother. And there's a new baby on the way too. So your father two in the possible. Well, not impossible. Two and one on the way. And so I'm so excited for you and your journey, man. Salute to you, King. Doing a great job. Jason Vanderberg, Noah Simmons, Brandon, guys from the church, man. I appreciate you, brothers. You really, truly are some great dads. And I love seeing your example. My boy Preach, the Barter King. What's going on, family? Thank you for being the friend that you are. And you are an amazing dad. I mean, salute to you, my brother. Tev from Strasburg campus, my dude. Great dad to his daughter. My boy Ish. Of course, I got to salute my man Ish. He's raising 3 beautiful daughters and took on countless other people's children, too, just supporting them. So I salute you, my brother. You are a great dad, man. Keep doing your thing. My boy Butch. What's going on, Butch? He's raised some grown kids now. And Butch is the youngest looking 70-year-old guy I know. I'm just joking, you're not 70. I can't. But I salute you, King. You're doing your thing, man, and I am proud of you, man. Great father right there. My man Sly Boogie, brand new dad to his son, and I'm so excited for him. And he did a funny post on Facebook the other day because his son duded all over his arm the other day. And it was the funniest post ever.
I was like, why did I just see this?
It was the funniest post ever.
How can I unsee this?
Oh, my gosh. Salute to you, man. I know there's so much stuff you about to endure. Pastor Phil, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. You have been another man of God that I can look up to. You're a great father, great man, and I appreciate you. My boys from high school, Matt Fasano, congratulations on the baby. King on two babies. My wife actually was there when one of the first baby was born, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, she was there because she's a nurse. She wasn't there, but she was there. She's a nurse, so she was there. Also, my boy Damien just had a baby. Salute to you, Damien, and of course I can't forget my boy Doug. Doug, you are a phenomenal dad, man. To Trey, Dylan. And Leilani, you are awesome, dad. So I appreciate you, King. Those are some of the people I just jotted down real quick. If I forgot anybody, y'all know charge it to my head and not my heart. Y'all know I love all my brothers. But I am so glad that I'm surrounded by guys who are truly great dads. I ain't got no friends that's no deadbeats. I don't have no friends that are like, yo, man, you really gotta look out for your children. Nah, I am surrounded by some kings, and I appreciate y'all for setting the example, holding me accountable. And we're holding each other accountable as men. And so I salute to all y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And thank y'all for all that you do. Keep going. Happy Father's Day to you fellas. All right? And if you're listening right now, thank y'all so much for joining us. Follow us, AP Toy Podcast, on all social media platforms. Anywhere you can find the podcast, you'll find AP Toy Podcast. And follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, what else? YouTube, TikTok,
everywhere,
all that stuff, everywhere you can find us on digital
and
platforms.
not on Audible. If you listened last week, you know why I said not on Audible.
But I appreciate you, Kings, and thank you guys. Happy Father's Day to all of you guys, and we'll be with you next week with a brand new
for episode 48.
We rocking it out, boo.
Yes,
we are consistent with this thing. We're going to make sure you have a new podcast.
Consistency.
Yeah, salute to everybody, man. That's the great dads out there. And more people are popping in my head, but I don't want to keep going with this thing. So, love y'all. Happy Father's Day, Kings. And we'll see you next week.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Peace.